Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this gentle and relaxing yin. Also, welcome to those of you who are already on your day 9 of my little reset and detox program. As always, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're curious, I will be linking it down below. For today's class, you might need a yoga belt, a yoga strap, some yoga blocks, or as always, anything you can think of to replace it. And when you're ready, just go ahead and meet me on the mat.
You should have seen the way that you bloom. I think I saw your face in the moon. I promise I'll be with you as soon as I find.
Alright, so when you guys are ready, you can go ahead and grab your blocks. Slowly make your way into a seated position. We're going to start off in a laying on blocks position. So firstly, starting by placing your blocks parallel, so in one line. You may want to start with medium height or highest height. So when you're here, simply starting by bringing the first block right in between those shoulder blades, so where that sports bra would end, and then the other one simply to rest underneath your head. So simply trying to find a comfortable little position here if you need to readjust yourself. And when you're here, simply closing your eyes if you haven't already done so. Starting to bring your focus inward. For your legs, maybe you want to stay like this, feet together, legs are bent. Or maybe extend and lower your legs all the way down on the ground. Or maybe you want to try and bring the bottom of the feet together. Taking this recline, bound angle variation. Wherever you are. Focusing on your breath. Releasing any tension that you might be holding on to. Really using every exhalation to allow you to create more space and melt a bit more and more into the pose. Trying to make every inhalation and exhalation as equal as possible. Three more breaths here, wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly lift yourself back up. Bringing your legs together if they were apart. And lifting your head off the block. And slowly coming up into seated position. When you're here, slowly bring your blocks by your side, maybe towards the top of the mat. And when you're here, right away, bringing the bottom of the feet together, coming into the seated bound angle pose. So when you're here, you're bringing the bottom of the feet together, kind of opening your feet out like you would a book. So opening your feet out, belly button zipping in, keeping your spine straight and long, trying to bring your thighs as close to the ground as you can. On your next inhalation, maybe you stay here. And on your next exhale, maybe you decide to. Also, you can always use a pillow or a bolster, something in your chest here. Maybe walking your hands forward, always keeping that spine straight and long. And maybe melting your forehead down onto the mat. Letting go of any expectations that you might have for yourself. Simply focusing on what feels best for you right now. Two more breaths here wherever you are. On your next inhalation, lift up on the fingertips, slowly walking yourself back up into that seated position. When you're here, keeping that left thigh bent, so bringing that left foot inside and straightening your right leg out towards the side. So taking this type of half pancake variation. On your next inhalation, maybe you want to go ahead and grab onto your yoga belt. You can loop it around your foot. We're going to go ahead and try and grab onto your foot, or maybe no use of the props, whatever feels most comfortable for you today. So on your next inhalation, we're going to raise both arms up and overhead. On your exhale, your right hand is going to grab onto your left hip. You're going to reach up and overhead to grab onto that right ankle. Looking up and over that left shoulder here. Focusing on your breath. Trying to create more length with every exhalation. Next inhalation, slowly come back to center. Arms come back up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down. And slowly we're going to switch sides. So bringing that right foot in and straightening your left foot out. So when you're here, I'll face this way. So maybe you guys can see a bit better actually. So when you're here, take a big inhale. Arms come up and overhead. And on your exhale this time, left hand is going to grab onto your right hip. You're going to reach up and overhead. It's okay if you stay here. Maybe using the yoga belt to grab onto that left foot. Focusing on your breath. Letting go of any expectations or judgment that you might have for yourself. Simply enjoying the stretch. Next inhalation, slowly coming back to your center. And on your exhale, slowly bringing your foot in, so you're facing this way. And slowly now extending actually both legs out by your side. We're going to attempt this wide leg forward fold now. So when you're here again, maybe you want to use some pillows or a bolster to lay on so that you can lay your chest here or maybe your blocks. And we're gonna take a few pelvic tilts. So we're gonna rock our hips forward and back, forward and back. So you're popping your booty out, really trying to glue your hips and pelvis down to the ground. And on your next exhalation, stay here, focusing on that pelvic tilt, maybe walking your hands forward, maybe laying again your chest down on some blocks or some pillows. Or maybe trying to lay all the way down, but you're focusing on keeping that spine straight and long, popping that booty out. Keeping your spine straight and long. Not holding on to your breath, really letting go. Allowing your body to create more space with every exhalation. So using your breath. Next inhalation, lifting up on your fingertips and walking yourself back up to that seated position. When you're here, bringing your legs together, giving yourself a little shake here from side to side. And when you're here, slowly making your way into a seated on heels position. So your legs are together here. Belly button is up and in. Simply bringing your hands to rest onto your thighs. On your next inhalation, maybe stay here or slowly tucking the back toes, getting a little stretch here. Back of the toes, keeping that belly button up and in. Shoulders are down and away from your ears, and if this is too much for you, you can always use some blocks by your side or keep those toes untucked. Focusing on your breath, really bringing your attention to the present moment, connecting with your body, taking this time for yourself. Next inhalation, slowly bringing the hands down and tucking the toes. Maybe give yourself a little pat, a little shake here. And on your next exhale, slowly walking your legs out so that you can sit your bum down in between your legs. When you're here, maybe you stay here, belly button up and in, spine is straight and long. If this is too much, you can always bring a block here. Slowly sit down onto the block, wherever you are. On your next exhalation, maybe you want to go a little bit deeper, slowly lowering down on the forms. We're going to head into our recline hero. So when you're here, forearms are wrapped around and in, keeping your heart lifted. And if this is easy for you, slowly lowering all the way down onto your back. Maybe arms come up and overhead. Keeping that focus. Keeping that focus on your breath. Keeping that focus on your breath. Three more breaths here wherever you are. Next inhalation, slowly making your way back onto your forearms. So slowly lifting yourself back up and making your way into that seated position. When you're here, slowly shifting your legs to the side so that you're coming back into the seated position, maybe taking a little shake from side to side. And when you're here, you're going to stack the right leg on top of your left one. So bending both legs so that your feet are touching your bum. And then you have one leg stacked on top of the other. We're going to take a cow face stretch here. So maybe on your next inhalation, you stay here. Inhale, arms raised up and overhead. On your exhalation, you're going to bend into the right arm. And exhale, bend into the left. So trying to grab maybe your hands together, maybe your fingers clasped, maybe you're using your strap here to help you with that. And simply staying here, focusing on the shoulder stretch for today. So not folding forward, not adding any modification with the legs, keeping that spine straight and long. The shoulders are open, focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, arms come back up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down by your side. On your next inhalation, bringing both legs back in. And exhale, switching. So bringing that left leg now on top of the right. Feet are touching your bum. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bending into that left arm and onto the right. Trying to maybe clasp hands together or maybe using the strap. Wherever you are, you're keeping your head high. Your heart is lifted. Maybe you're using your yoga belt. We're just focusing on the shoulder opening here, so we're not going to add any fold or any modification with the legs. So really give it your all. Next inhalation, arm come up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down, bring the legs back in. Again, a few shakes from side to side. And on your next exhalation, you're going to keep a bend into that right leg and trying to shift yourself and kind of make your way into a pigeon pose. So when you're here, first thing maybe you want to do is keeping that right foot glued to your left hip bone to begin with. Your hands are not going to be in front like this. They can be by your side. So using your blocks if needed or not. Keeping those hips squared. And on your next exhalation, again, maybe you're using a pillow, a bolster, whatever you need. If you have more range of flexibility, you can also play around with flexing the front foot and bringing that shin so it's parallel to the front of the mat. And on your next exhalation, slowly maybe walking the hands forward, melting your heart and forehead down on the mat. So maybe you're melting down on the mat, or again, on some bolster, a pillow, whatever you have. Taking whatever modification that is best for you today. And as always, if you need to keep a block underneath your hip here to keep it elevated and allow you to fold while doing the pigeon pose, highly recommend you doing so. Next inhalation, lifting up on the fingertips, slowly walking yourself back up, hands come by your side. And on your next inhalation, you're going to shift your weight towards the side, bending that little right leg, and slowly make your way into a tabletop position. When you're here, ensuring that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and your hips are stacked over your knees. On your exhalation, we're going to do our little frog pose. So keeping those knees in one line, slowly letting that right leg slide out. Maybe you're laying your chest again on blocks or pillows or bolster, whatever you have. Those feet are out, but the knees are in one perfect line, focusing on that little pelvic tilt. So popping the booty out, so not rounding like this, popping out. Maybe you're on your forearms, or your chest, or on your hands. And we're going to be holding it for a few breaths, so choosing whatever variation that you want to do today. Really simply trying to release and let go any judgment that you might have for yourself. Focusing on the alignment. Holding on to your breath. I know it's really easy to fall into the pattern, but trying to be aware. Next inhalation, slowly press back in. Coming back into your tabletop position. When you're here, maybe take a wiggle from side to side. And on your next inhalation, slowly bringing your left shin forward, setting yourself up. Left leg forward, left shin forward. Setting yourself up here for your pigeon on the other side. So when you're here again, maybe starting hands are by your side. Maybe you need your blocks. Maybe you walk your foot out, playing around here if you're a bit more flexible, but always ensuring that your hips are squared. And if you're trying to walk your foot out, it's because your hips are already sinking down and probably touching the mat when your foot is touching your hip. On your next inhalation, maybe stay here, or maybe slowly walking the hands forward, mounting the heart down on your blocks or on a pillow, on a bolster. Using your exhalation to create more space. Next inhalation, slowly lifting up on the fingertips and walking yourself back to seated position. Again, slowly wiggling your foot in, making your way into tabletop position. When you're here, walking your feet out, back, make sure that your toes are touching the back edge of your mat. We're going to take a little puppy pose here. So again, if you want to lay your chest on a bolster, some pillows, you're going to inhale and exhale, drop the belly, slowly melting the forehead down on the mat. Trying to keep a stack of your hips over your knees. Maybe you bring the chest and throat down on the mat. Again, focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, slowly bringing your hands by your side of your chest. Sitting back down onto your heels, taking a moment, connecting with your breath. And on your next exhalation, slowly making your way onto your back. When you're here, bringing both thighs to your chest, making sure that maybe your strap is actually close to you because you might need it for the upcoming stretch. So on your next inhalation, straightening the legs. On top of you, feet are flexed. When you're here on your next inhalation, stacking that right leg on top of the left. And exhale, bending your right leg, stacking your ankle on top of the left knee. On your next inhalation, crossing your arms around and under that left thigh and bending onto the left leg. Trying to bring that thigh as close to your chest as you can. Maybe taking movements here from side to side, whatever helps you feel a bit more of a stretch. Trying to keep that spine glued to the mat. Next inhalation, slowly releasing the hands. Slowly start to straighten your left leg out and down and straighten your right leg up on top. Both feet are flexed. On your next inhalation, you're going to bend into your right leg. Maybe you grab onto your right big toe, your pea-sized finger, or you're going to go ahead and grab onto your yoga belt. If you do so, you're clasping your belt around your foot. And on your exhalation, keeping your hips squared, that belly button is up and in, tailbone is stuck, slowly working on straightening your leg. When you're here, ensuring that both feet are flexed. When you're here again, ensuring that both feet are flexed, belly button is up and in. And on your exhale, slowly, maybe you stay here, work on straightening the leg, maybe you work on slowly bringing it as close to your chest as you can, maybe grabbing onto your foot, maybe creating more space at the side to allow your leg to come all the way down. Feeling a nice opening here, keeping the feet flexed. Exhale, slowly release, bring it back to center, and inhale, lifting that left leg, and this time bringing the left ankle on top of the right leg, crossing the arms around and under, taking the quad stretch again, so trying to bring the thigh as close to your chest as you can, keeping both feet flexed here. On your next inhalation, slowly releasing the hands. Straighten your right leg straight in front and come all the way down. Then your left is stacked. Both feet are flexed. Again, next inhalation, bending into the left leg. Maybe grabbing onto the big toe with the pea-sized finger. Or again, if you're using your strap, you're bending into your leg. Exhale, working on straightening your leg here. So simply belly button up and in. You're focusing on keeping those hips square. Those legs are straight, so they're actively kicking. And on your next exhale, maybe you're working on keeping that thigh close to your chest, bringing your leg closer and closer. Maybe one day grabbing onto your foot, creating a bit more space onto the side to bring your foot down. Again, focusing on your breath wherever you are. Next exhalation, slowly let that leg come back to center. And on your next inhalation, right leg come up. Bending both legs, tossing your arms around, maybe taking a few movements from side to side. On your next inhalation, letting your right arm come out by your side. Palm is facing down, bending into the legs. And on your exhale, both legs are simply going to fall onto your left side. Bringing your left hand to rest onto your legs. Looking towards the right here. Shoulder blades are on the mat. Focusing on your breath. Next inhalation, come back to center. And exhale, switching sides. So this time maybe cactus the arms like me if you don't have enough room. Letting your legs fall onto the right, looking towards the left. So very, very gentle. So very, very gentle twist here. Next inhalation, slowly make your way back to center. And exhale, swinging your legs out in front of you. As always, we're going to finish this practice by taking a few breaths in Savasana to really integrate everything that we just worked on. I truly hope that you enjoyed this gentle and relaxing yin, and that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.